600 people are known to have died in Nigeria as a result of severe flooding, and meteorologists are warning the torrential rains will continue until at least the end of November.
Hi, welcome to O.I.W. Inc. I am doing a lot. I have so many things I'm doing here. I don't know if I should. But hi, how are you doing? How are you doing? How is everyone? How are we? I was trying to grab something I was working on. I am trying to organize things and get things as it should be on everybody's mind now. What is paramount is survival. And okay, if this is distracting, we will take it down. Yeah, let's take it down. This is so that we don't have anything distracting us and we have a clear background. What I have here is already too busy and I wouldn't want to complicate things further. And also because the concentration should be on what I want us to talk about. Hi again. Boy, if I tell you, if you allow me to talk especially about what is going on right now, I will talk from today till tomorrow and 2 more days on top. In fact, give me 5 days and we're still talking. Everybody was getting the bites. We were all trying to drag ourselves from now till when the elections will hold, and then we will hope for a better Naija. And so even if you live under the rock, even if you live in the cave, you will know that in fact 80% of everybody in the country now manage. We hold ourselves. We were just dragging ourselves to see the next day, pulling through by God's grace. And then the catastrophe at hand now, our flash flood.
Impossible. Flash flooding has displaced at least 1.3 million people in Nigeria, and some 200,000 homes have been completely washed away.
And just like the criminal at night, it came without warning. And as I am talking to you, the death toll of this supposed flash flood has gotten, and is still counting, has gotten up to 800 people. The last time I checked, 800, and we are still counting. And most of us, in fact, I am not here for the why. I am here for the solution. How do we put this to an end? How do we come out of this? Because as we talk, so people don't die and more are still dying. But this flood has cut across through some parts of Lagos, some parts of the hinds of Lagos, and then it's coming through Kwara State. It has entered Delta. It has devastated completely Bayelsa. In fact, 80% of the Bayelsa land now is submerged. It has come through to River State, the Ahoda side, and then the River State, here I am in River State, and so it has come through to Ahoda and it's going through to Anambra. It has gone, in fact, Anambra, any Anambra town, any Anambra community that has water body close to it, it's completely submerged. And I am talking about Otuocha, Anam. If you're from Anambra, you will know the areas I'm talking about. And I had Anambra on my lips my last year, and the flood has started at that time, but then it wasn't this devastating, and so I didn't talk about it. We all felt it was something that will come and go, but with the rains and the reports we are hearing, this rain will continue from now till November, and this rain will continue till the end of November. And when the rain stops, that's when we'll begin to talk about how the flood will start to ease off. This is not to lay blames on anyone. And so, like we know, if we decide to stay here to lay blames on the government, on the people, we will not have the end of it. We will not see the end of it. So the right thing to do is to begin to think of solutions. How can we bring ourselves out of this? Yes, we know that life before the flood, there were some regulations that we should not have crossed, some lines that we should not have crossed. If you ask me, I will say that a place where there's a river body and a normal land on the same platform, on the same eye level, we have no business building anything around the waterway, around that riverbank, because with what climate change is saying right now, anything can happen. The water body can overflow. I mean, we've seen this over time. But then, as it is in Niger, we don't forecast, we don't think back, we don't think. And as it is in Niger, we don't forecast a lot of things, we don't think back to about a lot of things. We just, take it a day as it comes, because we are left by ourselves to cater to ourselves as a people, as we are left by ourselves as citizens to cater to ourselves. And so you find that what is the topmost on everybody's mind is survival. How to find that shelter, how to find clothing, how to find food. And when you have these things that you cater for yourself by yourself, you find that a lot of the regulations, if there are regulations at all, a lot of these regulations will probably not be kept lived by. A lot of them will be overlooked. A lot of them will not be put into consideration, because so many of us, they go after survival. And so I am not here to say, hey, why did we build close to the water bank? Why did we build close to where there's waterway? Why didn't our government forecast this thing? Why didn't our government listen to a particular country? Why didn't our government tell us that there's a particular country that will be opening dam after a particular period? We're not here for all of that. I mean, if you listen in the news, and I know you have, you must have heard that there's a country that has opened up its dam. These are stories, and I am not here to say this is what it is. But then we know that there's a particular country which is supposed to have opened up its dam after a certain time, and because of that, you get these floods after some years. I mean, the last time this thing happened was in 2012, but it was not as much devastating as it is right now. Normally, every country that has had a type of flooding whatsoever should expect this. Every good government that is concerned with the well-being of its citizens should know that this type of flooding will happen again in the near future. And so what do we do to stop it? How do we curtail whatever will come out of it if it happens again? But Niger, nothing like that was set in place. Nobody cared. And when I say nobody, I mean the government. And so the normal man goes about his life not even knowing that where he has built his house is where he is not supposed to. So even though on our side as a people, we know that there is a lot of non-adherence to regulations, because I want to believe that there are regulations that have been put in place for some of the buildings that are in waterway, but then a lot should have been done to stop these encroachments to human settlements, especially around areas where water bodies are on the same level with the normal land where human beings live on. So hi again, I am back from the day's hustle, and we're still on this topic. I want to conclude. The point is for us to find solutions. We can talk about it all day. It was not as if we did all we should do, obeyed all the rules. I mean, not to say obey, because the word obey sounds like something that is carved out for a child. But it was not as if we crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. You find that the normal resourceful Nigerian man will wake up develop his community, develop his area. He will build houses, he will build stores. I mean, I know that the average Nigerian man is very resourceful and going out of his way to build a federal road. Don't get me wrong, we are all trying, we are trying to do our best. And so for people who have little government support, this cuts really deep. Let's also not forget to talk about life right now, as the flooding is rampaging and devastating our localities. We can see our farms being washed away, our villages, the developing cities that we the normal citizen have tried so hard to develop, to build, our businesses, our properties. Yes, you know, all that we have managed to engross by ourselves. And then the ones that we painstakingly dragged the government to provide for us. Rural areas that it took forever for them to have electricity. Yes, all those places right now, all those things we have amassed and that we have finally gotten from the government, and then the ones we have built by ourselves, all those places, the connecting roads, etc., the electricity, all of it now, all gone, all lying underwater. We all know that the paramount thing right now is survival, and so no one is thinking of pointing fingers. But then we need to begin to educate ourselves so that these things, something as devastating as this, will not happen to us again. Try as we may, no matter how we try to blame anybody. Honestly, at this point, if you ask me, I will say that I know that a lot of people have given up hope, but I will be judging too fast. I will be speaking too fast. We are a very dogged set of human beings. So for this situation, of course we will survive. Of course we will smile at the end of it, even though the end seems to be too far away. Yes, businesses will spring up again. Yes, we will manage to get ourselves, dust ourselves up and continue. We will sure stand up on our feet and dust up ourselves. We will, for sure. At this point, there will be millions of SOS calls.
Humanitarian groups are providing shelter, food and clothing for those who've been affected. With large swathes of farmland waterlogged and crops completely destroyed, rice producers are already warning that prices could soar.
There will be a lot of charity calls. There will be a lot of shelter calls. I am hoping that as much as we can, that we will do our best. Lend your voice, lend your finance. If there are Red Cross duties in any locality around you, please lend your services, volunteer to do something if you can. We have to create the awareness to raise ideas on solutions on what to do as Nigerians, because we are the only ones who can save ourselves from this. I mean, that Messiah we may be seeking from Western countries may not come, and this is with good reason, because as we know, there are also some foreign countries that are undergoing as much flooding as we are at this time. It will be best if we put our heads together to find ways on how we can proffer solutions. The pictures you are seeing are real life current situations, and we have not done enough so far. In conclusion, there are a lot of content creators who are on ground, foot soldiers who are on ground, bringing this information to us. I mean, there's a YouTuber who did a documentary on what is going on in Anambra State. He started the documentary. He based his documentary mostly on Anambra State. He extended it to some other regions, It was his well-formed documentary that opened a lot of people's eyes to the capacity of what this devastation has caused. And there's this other guy on Facebook, Zeus by name. He is doing so much. He has been hands-on right from the onset, from when this flooding started in Anambra State and beyond. He went into these communities, the O.I.W region, the Anam region, the O.I.W region, and looking at the pictures is very devastating. I remember one particular one that he was standing right behind a church that just collapsed due to the flooding of that area. I mean, you will see buildings that has been covered up almost to the roof. You will see buildings almost covered up, swallowed up completely to the roof. And he goes into these localities, these communities. At times like this, the only way of transportation is the canoe. You find him with canoe, in the canoes, without the life vest and everything. I mean, the risk involved is just too much. Also, I implore that you do your research, find churches that are already offering shelter and relief materials, find ways you can contribute. I am going to be putting up on the screen right now two good organizations that you can contribute, but I also implore you to do your due diligence in make sure that these resources get to the right hands. In conclusion, I want us to know that there is hope. I want us to also reroute our thoughts into finding solutions. And so I implore each and every one of us, once the rain stops and we find that the water has started receding, I pray that we will remember to put heads together to bring fast and easy solutions, to put heads together to provide solutions where it is needed, and also to offer our help no matter how little. Thank you so much for coming on this one with me. It's been an emotional video for me to make, because there are so many pictures of children that are diseased, I mean, lying on the floor and everything. I hope that you will make sense out of what I have said. We can all lend that hand. You don't have to say that you don't know what to do, even if it's just as little as giving out drinking water, because you find that in these areas, even something as little as drinking water is difficult to access. And this is also opening up this channel. If you come across this video and you have ways where you can confirmed ways, reliable ways where you know that one can lend help and it will reach the right ones, the right people who actually need this help, please drop it in the comment section. Like I said, it's been an emotional one. My words may be here and there, but I pray that the aim and purpose of this video will not be lost in the whole conversation. Let's keep it locked and keep the conversation going in the comment section. Thank you so much for coming on this one with me. Until the next one, bye and God bless.